saw the teacher put her hand on Kokichi's shoulder, and my whole body tensed. Kokichi has been acting a little off recently, and I wanted to ask him what was bothering him, because it seemed to make him act this way. He seemed angrier. I'm not sure if it's at me or someone else, but I hope he will be able to tell me sooner or later.
Your father is here,
the teacher said to him, making him immediately look confused, the same way I felt. I thought Kokichi was an orphan. I mean, I remember his mother from when we were younger, but I'm pretty sure she isn't around anymore. So who the hell could this be?
My father?
He asked, looking directly at the teacher with a slight glare in his gaze. She jumped a bit at this.
Yes, he is waiting for you in the office,
she said, backing away from him. Kokichi got out of his seat and walked out the side door before I felt a nervous feeling in my stomach. Who the hell could be here for Kokichi? And why all of a sudden? I was cut off by a feeling deep in my gut. I need to go to Kokichi. Kokichi's in trouble. I moved before I could even process anything.
Shuichi, wait, where are you going?
The teacher called out, but I didn't even look back. I know that Kokichi's in trouble. I know someone is here to hurt him. I don't know how. I just know. I ran down the halls all the way to the office where I knew he would be. I felt my shoes hitting hard against the floor as I ran. My mind was racing as much as I was running. I didn't feel tired and saw the office a lot quicker than I thought I would. So I slowed down and abruptly opened the door. Kokichi? I asked, looking around the office to see the office aide pointing to a room that was marked Principal. I moved across the room towards the door.
Wait, you can't go in there.
I cut her off by looking back at her. I felt a dark energy overcome me before she jumped and moved back in her chair. I didn't know my look was that scary, but that doesn't matter. Getting to Kokichi is all that matters. I opened the door and found an older man that didn't look anything like Kokichi, who was standing a little ways away from Kokichi, who was bracing himself. I looked back at the principal's desk and saw the principal passed out on the table, while the other male held a hand around Kokichi's neck.
Shuichi?
Kokichi whimpered before I was by his side. I punched the man in the gut, making him grunt before he fell onto the floor. Kokichi was about to fall back onto the floor before I caught him in my arms and held him close to my chest.
Shu?
He whispered, sounding hoarse. I felt my anger increase at this. Who the fuck does this dude think he is? I thought to myself, clenching one of my fists before looking over to the man now on the floor.
What the hell?
He yelled, getting back up before slowly moving his hand across his mouth. I saw after a moment that my punch caused him to start bleeding. What the hell?
You shouldn't be able to punch that hard. I mean, I'm a vampire, damn it, and you are a lowly human.
He yelled at me before I felt myself flinch at those words. I should have realized this sooner. Vampires have some heightened abilities compared to the average human. Well, you get the hell away from my boyfriend, asshole. I yelled before I realized. He looks familiar, but where would I have ever met another vampire? I thought to myself before he spoke again.
Oh, actually, I know who you are, Shuichi Saihara,
he said with a smirk. I felt my body freeze. Wait a minute, isn't that...
I didn't think you would have found the human you were bonded to this quickly, honestly,
he said with a sigh. As he put his hands behind his head, I felt my throat go dry. Oh, God. A burning pain erupted through my throat. How could I let this happen? I was just trying to do a job with my partner Kyoko, and then it happened. The stinging pain in my neck. She couldn't do anything to stop it. I just let the darkness consume me. Is this what it's like to die? Shuichi. 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 My eyes shot open, and I flinched at the bright light that burned my eyes. Ouch. I slowly moved my hand to my neck, where there were now bandages around the wound I got prior. What happened? I was a little dizzy from waking up so quickly. I looked at Kyoko, who was sitting in a chair next to my bed. I assumed she was the one who yelled to wake me up. "Oh, Shuichi, you're awake. I'll get the nurse," she said quickly. She quickly got up and left the room. I sighed knowing I got no answer from her, and I was still confused as fuck. "God," I groaned, sitting up and holding my neck, trying to stop or soothe the pain erupting from it, but to no avail. I flinched when I tried to speak again, to ask for Kyoko. There were fangs in my mouth? What the hell happened to me yesterday?
Saichi, how are you feeling?
Who I assumed was the nurse, asking me while checking my monitor. "I'm okay. What the hell happened to me yesterday?" I asked, making them exchange a concerned look. "Well, yesterday you were attacked by someone, and when I finally got to you, they were already gone. You were just slumped against the cement wall with 2 wounds on your neck. I rushed over to you and called for help, and Kathy came and helped me get you here," Kyoko said, putting her hands together in her lap. She looked disappointed. It wasn't her fault, it was mine, because they told me to get out of there and I didn't listen, causing myself to get into this situation.
From examining your wounds, you were bitten by a vampire,
Kathy said, looking down at her feet. "A vampire? I thought that was just a myth." I think they could tell I was surprised because Kathy took my hand in hers. This can't be," I started, only to be cut off by his finger coming over my lips. I bit his finger, making him pull his hand away as I gently sat Kokichi in a chair behind me, just in case this gets violent.
"Oh, yes it can. That makes it even better for me,"
he said before laughing. "What do you mean by that?" I asked, putting a hand to my chin.
"Well, if you two are bonded, then all I would need to be reunited with my Victoria is to drink Kokichi's blood and take the bond from the two of you. Then me and my love will be together forever,"
he said with a blush on his cheeks as he slowly came towards me and Kokichi again. I pushed him away pretty forcefully, making his back hit the wall.
"Well, if you're going to be this stubborn, then I have other ways,"
he said before he left the office in a flash. All I could see was his smile before he disappeared from my view. "He wants to take our bond? Why?" And I had no idea that was what was going to happen if someone drank both mine and Kokichi's blood. I moved back over so I was kneeling in front of Kokichi. I gently moved my hand to rest on his lap and grabbed his hand. His hand felt cold in my own, and it made me resent myself because of how I should have come earlier so he wouldn't have gotten hurt. I looked in his eyes as he opened them to look back at me.
"Hey, Shu,"
he said with a small laugh. I gently smiled and cupped his cheeks in my hand. He flinched at this action, probably because of the bruise on his cheek and neck. "Hey, Kichi, I'm sorry," I said, looking down. I felt his hand on my cheek before he leaned down to put his lips against my own. I felt more relaxed at this. I smiled against his lips and moved my arms around the back of his neck slowly, moving so I was standing over him, kissing him.